All right. So, what are we looking at today? Well, we're going to take a look at Trump's tweets and try to figure out what is going on with these things because a lot of people want to make excuses for his tweets, but the reality is looking at President Trump's tweets are a window into his soul. You want to know what he's really about? You want to know what he really thinks? It's in those tweets. So people can sit around and make excuses and say that's not what he meant. He didn't realize this was racist. It is what it is, right? There's not a lot of deep level stuff going on here. What you see is what you get, and we're going to take a look at it, and we're going to take a look at why this is so dangerous for the country, and right now especially, it's just not doing us any good. So here we've got the first one. All right, so let's take a look right here. These thugs are dishonoring the memory of George Floyd. Okay, so that word thugs thrown in there, it wasn't accidental. It wasn't a slip. It's all caps. It's there for a reason. It's being highlighted as a dog whistle. I mean, people want to go, oh no, thugs is not necessarily racist. When has Trump used the word thugs when he wasn't talking about black people? I don't remember it. I haven't seen it. I've seen numerous times where he's calling black people thugs. I haven't seen a whole lot of times where he's using the word thugs to mean people other than black people. So here we are in this horrible situation where there's riots, there's looting, people are getting hurt in all of this. And instead of coming out and trying to listen, right? That's really what's going on when people protest, is they're saying, listen to me. I have something to say. And they've reached a point where they are so frustrated that they don't think they can be heard in the normal course of events. So they're going out and saying, I have to get your attention. Because when people want to get our attention by kneeling at football games, no, that's not the time or place. That's not appropriate. You can't protest this way. Okay. When Black Lives Matter is trying to get people attention, no, that's inappropriate. That's not the time or place. So people get frustrated of not being heard, and yet they are being murdered on television for us all to see, right? You can't hide from it. It's right there. There's going to be frustration, and people are saying, you need to listen to us. That's the real message here. Now, I don't condone violence. I'm not trying to go out and say that the looting and this kind of stuff is okay. I don't condone violence. I don't condone burning buildings to the ground. But what I do understand is that when you hold a man's head underwater, at some point, he's going to start fighting back, right? He's going to struggle because he needs to live. That's what's going on here. There's a group of people in our society whose heads are being held underwater, and they're fighting back, right? Again, I don't condone this violence, but I do understand it. I do understand that when you hold people down long enough, there's going to be consequences, right? So this idea that when people are trying to be heard, maybe that would be the approach to take, is to listen. Just listen. Just listen to what people have to say and say, maybe there genuinely is something that we can do about this, and move forward. That is the correct way to approach this. Not with threats, right? As we'll see, numerous threats, and calling people thugs. You're just elevating the situation. But that's what Trump knows. Trump knows threatening, being bigger than the other person, scarier, yelling louder, bigger threats, bigger stick, right? That's how Trump operates. That's not going to work in this situation because our entire history is full of people being held down, and they're saying, look, you need to listen to us right now. You need to listen to what we have to say. And if our government came out and literally listened, I think that would go a long way in stopping these protests. But you can't do it by just coming out and threatening people who feel like their lives are in danger. And it's fair for people to feel like their lives are in danger because we keep seeing videos where literally their lives are in danger. Okay, you got to listen to people. You got to hear what they have to say and be genuine about it. Think about it and go, is there a point here that is valid that we can work on as a country and try to move forward? Not calling people thugs in caps, right? All caps. Okay, and that's actually not even the worst part of this tweet. If we look at the end, what do we have here? Any difficulty and we will assume control. But when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Thank you. Which, first of all, is super snarky. Thank you? You're going to throw a thank you at the end of that? I mean, come on. You're trying to not escalate stuff, and you're sitting here telling people you're going to shoot them and then close by saying thank you? Wonderful. Okay. So, the second thing we need to know here, so it's come out that, and I wasn't aware of this, but it's come out that when the looting starts, the shooting starts, is actually if you look historically, it's a very racist statement. This came up in the past in racist situations. So this is another one of those dog whistles. You put it out there, and then, you get a certain portion of your base, take that as a clue and go, oh, okay, so Trump's telling us that it's okay to be racist. It's okay to shoot people. I mean, that's the only reason that this is in here. But people are coming out and saying, well, Trump probably didn't realize the racist history of that statement. Okay, let's just assume he didn't. I'm not saying he doesn't understand it, but let's just say that he doesn't. It's still a horrible thing to be saying. When the looting starts, the shooting starts, it's like an authoritarian government. We're just going to start shooting the people in the protesters and the protests. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely irresponsible. What we don't need here is more escalation. We need to stop, let cooler heads prevail, and listen to people genuinely, right? Right? This is the thing that went down with Biden. When Biden made his big gaffe last week, he was being asked, what can we take back to our community so that we know our situation is going to get better? Right? And then somebody got murdered that we've all seen the video of. What you need to do is let people know we hear that there is a serious situation going on and we're going to do something about it, and give them something real so that they know that you're serious, and then make systemic changes. Make changes to the system so that we don't have a group of people who feel like they are marginalized by society. That's what we need. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so then Trump retweeted a video from Cowboys for Trump, which is just mind-bogglingly unreal to me. I can't even wrap my head around why anyone would think that this is an okay thing to do. Let's take a look.
I've come to a place where I've come to the conclusion that the only good Democrat is a dead Democrat.
Okay, there's no confusing what just happened there. Okay, it's plain as day. This man in front of a group of people just said the only good Democrat is a dead Democrat, and there were cheers from the audience. Okay, plain as day. Now, of course, there are people saying this in the country, but the president retweeted this. This is endorsed by the president because he retweeted it. This is what I'm talking about. The president should be taking the lead on coming together, not trying to be divisive. There's no way to argue that this isn't divisive. Okay, now let's hear the next thing he says.
I don't say that in the physical sense, and I can already see the videos getting edited where it says, I want to go murder Democrats. No.
Okay, and then he's making a joke out of it and saying, oh, I don't mean it literally. Yeah, you do mean it literally, okay? Oh, no, it's just political. I can see people getting their cameras out and overreacting to this because you're saying the only good Democrat is a dead Democrat. That's why. This isn't, oh, I said that thing, but I didn't really mean it, right? That's like when you come out and you say, oh, well, I'm not a racist, but, and then you say something racist, okay? What's going on in that situation is the person wants to say something racist, but doesn't want to face the consequences of saying racist things. That's exactly what's happening here. This individual wants to say these violent things, but doesn't want to have to face the consequences of it. So says, oh, I don't mean that in a physical sense. I mean it in political sense. Come on. This is not like someone sitting around and going, man, Bernie Sanders got killed in the primaries. In that situation, no one thinks you're talking about Bernie Sanders literally being killed. In this situation, you're saying the only good Democrat is a dead Democrat, and then the crowd cheers. There's only one way to interpret that. Now, if everyone wants to pat themselves on the back and go, oh, we were just kidding, we didn't really mean it, no one's buying it. You people and this guy, you're the only ones who are fooled by the fact that somehow by saying, I don't mean that physically, that it's an okay thing to say. And again, if these individuals want to do this, whatever. There's people in this country who are racist and people who want to do violent things. The worst part about this is that it was retweeted by the President of the United States. The President of the United States should be unifying people, should be saying, look, I serve everyone in this country, whether that's people who are protesting in the streets, yeah, I serve those people. People who voted for Democrats, yes, I serve those people. Let's all come together. Instead, in what is already a very tense election year, and we've got a long ways to go, we're already ramping up the rhetoric about hate and divisiveness and, let's face it, flat out violence. You don't think there are people in this country who are going to interpret this tweet as we should be hurting Democrats? Of course they are. Of course they are. And it is completely irresponsible for Trump to be coming out and retweeting something like this. All right. And as if that wasn't enough, let's look at another instance. So there were protests taking place right near the White House, right? Like literally like right in front of the White House, okay? And so Trump's tweeting out about the looting and the different things that are going on. And here's one of the situations. He talks about how we'll have to get out the most vicious dogs and most ominous weapons I have ever seen. So first of all, did he have an 8th grader write that for him? I mean, come on. It's like someone trying to write bad sci-fi or something. But secondly, this is what he knows. There's never a point at which Trump can say, let's listen to each other. Let's talk. Let's hear what each other has to say. Because that's called diplomacy. But in Trump's world, that's weakness, right? That's what weak people do, is talk and listen to each other. The only interactions that you get with Trump are power, strength, aggression. Okay? Now, that's fine if he's a private citizen. He's the president of the United States. This is not the way to do things. Okay? You got to listen to the people and hear what it is they're talking about. Again, I don't condone looting. I don't condone this kind of looting. I don't condone violence. I don't want anybody to get hurt. But you got to listen to what people have to say, especially when we're talking about a marginalized population of our country who repeatedly is treated unfairly in what is, if you look into it, it's pretty hard to deny, it's a systemically racist system that we look in. You got to listen to people. And honestly, a side note, where's Biden in all this? This is a perfect opportunity for Biden to step up and try to undo some of the damage that he's done in the past and try to reach out. But they don't know how to do this. They don't know how to reach out and say, yeah, this is pretty unjust. Let's figure out what we're going to do about it. And neither one of these individuals has any clue about how to move forward with this.